Hello you fans, Reprints here, and welcome to an in-depth set analysis with Destiny Soldiers. Destiny Soldiers is a hidden arsenal-like pack that comes out this week, and I thought I'd cover it since it is going to produce an archetype that will be meta, which is Darklord. Darklord, in the current sense, will be Vanity's themed turbo, and will have numerous regional tops and probably a few YCS tops in the upcoming months before Zodiac, DDD support, and Eidolon. So in this video, we'll be discussing the main archetypes that you can get from this set, which is Darklord, Destiny Hero, and Abyss Actor, the reprints that are good and bad, and all based on Dark. And then we'll go over the highest value cards, the cards that you can easily invest in, and then finally whether you should buy a box or secret, or singles essentially. We'll also be talking about cards that you should pick up alongside to make these decks better. And hopefully they won't have hyped too much already. So without further ado, we'll start with the first archetype, and that is Darklords. Darklords have 9 new cards, and all of them are secret. Everything from the set is either secret or super. It is a hidden arsenal-like set, so it is following that theme. Most likely it'll probably be a short print secret or two, like it did in Hidden Arsenal in Hidden Forces, which was Necros of Bryonak and Myosenju Diabak. So there's probably going to be 1 or 2 short print secrets, and most likely this will be one of these cards in here. We will go over all of this stuff during this video. So we'll start with Darklord Morningstar. This card is hardly ever played, but it is the monster of the deck. When it is summoned, I think it's I don't know if it's once per turn or if it's summoned. Yes, tribute summoned. You can special summon Darklords from your deck, equal to the amount of effect monsters your opponent controls, which is a very powerful effect. However, there isn't really a mechanic to get this out very effectively. This is why this card is hardly ever played, possibly in the side deck for slower decks, because this is very powerful in slower decks, not as good against meta and strong decks that can easily bring out a very powerful board before you can get this on the board. If you do pick this card up for your deck, it will be only a one-off. Then we have Darklord Archetype. This is an instant free of its draw support. Discard this with a Darklord card, draw 2 cards. And all Darklords have the generic effect that while they're on the board, you can pay 1,000 life points, shuffle back one of their spell trap supports to gain that effect without their cost, which is great. And I should state it's only the new Darklords, which is these 4 members. Darklord Lucifer doesn't have this effect, and the old Darklords do not have this effect either. This effect is very powerful and gets around the once per turn restriction on their cards, which is very, very powerful. I hope more archetypes get this effect in the future. It's tap instant free up because it's draw support. Then we have Darklord Tezcatlipoca. I really can't pronounce names. It has the ability of Void Seer, discarded to make your monsters indestructible without starting a chain link. And again, the generic effect is a one-off if you want to use it in something like Demise Darklord, but other than that, it's generally not used, so nothing you need to pick up at this point. Then there is Triple Mastermer. This card was very underrated when we first saw it because, yeah, special summons and stuff doesn't do that much. But since the deck turned into Vanity's Fiend Turbo, it was very easy to abuse because it is a monster instantly for tribute fodder on the board. So you can tribute summon the Vanity's Fiend, you don't know someone in this deck, so the synergy was quite there actually. And it's a 2600 level 7. It's alright. Other than that, it's just comboing off your spell and trap support in the graveyard to get a lot more monsters, bring out Titanic Galaxy, Vanity's Fiend on your turn 1 board with some setup in the graveyard. Very nice. Definitely a free of in the builds that will be upcoming. Then we have Darklord Osmodusk. Darklord Osmodusk is a retrieval card. It can discard itself with a Darklord card and a Darklord card from your graveyard to your hand, which could be very nice to utilize Shrine, or maybe put this on your back row, get your draw support, or even just get one of the other Darklords in the graveyard very easily and just add something else back. Maybe even itself, because I believe it can add itself. Yes, it can add itself. So it's just a way of discarding and setting up your graveyard as well. Only a one-off, never used at any higher interval because it's a level 6 and didn't have a great attack stat. Then we have the draw. Then we have the search support. A very, very powerful search support due to the effect of Darklords being able to shuffle it back into the deck to gain their effect. Add one Darklord from your deck to your hand. Very powerful. The once per turn activate restriction isn't a real restriction because they can change it into an effect instead, and that's very powerful. Very powerful indeed. Instant free of for this deck. Then we have Shrine of the Darklords, basically a Monster Reborn for the deck, which keeps on going because you revive Superbia, which revives a Darklord to shuffle this back into the deck, and revive again. Who says this needs to be once per turn, eh? It's very, very powerful. Again, another free of. The deck used to originally run Caller Haunted, but that wasn't fast enough. This one is a lot more powerful and can be done on turn 1, whereas Caller Haunted is done on turn 2, and it's a trap card. Then we have Darklord Rebellion. Darklord Rebellion sends a Darklord from your hand or face up on the board to non-target destroy a card on the board, which is great. And when you shuffle it back into the deck, you can do this for free. You don't have to send Darklord because you're paying 1,000 life points as the cost instead, which is basically Destiny Heroes Diamond Dude's effect, which is very, very good. This card is usually a 2 of, possibly a 3 of in some decks. I know in my Demise deck I use this as a 3 of because I really do enjoy this card. And then finally, Darklord Temptation. This one is probably the second worst, the worst spell and trap supports, just because it just takes control of your opponent's monster for a turn. That's not too powerful, but it is used to basically interrupt synchro and exceed summons, which can be very alright. It's mainly, I think you'll probably mainly use for it to be shuffled back into the deck. It's probably easiest to discard it with Ixatab over anything, because Ixatab can discard any Darklord card and it doesn't have to be a monster, which is very, very powerful. Usually this is a 2 of. So if you're building Darklords, you have to basically pick up 17 secrets minimum, which is very, very painful to the wallet, and depending on the short print nature of these cards, it will keep going up and up. And if it starts to top regionals, again, this price will start to rise and rise, which is great for anyone who gets that support and wants to get rid of it easily. Then we have the reprinted support for Destiny Heroes, the first of which is Osmoduos. Not run, it summons out tokens when it's destroyed. Useless, really, for the deck. Then there's Superbia, instant free of. It has a higher print, which is ultra rare, and I believe it's also got a prize card print as well. So rip anyone who wants to make this instant full high rarity. But Darklord Superbia is an additional Monster Reborn. You Monster Reborn the Monster Reborn, which is very, very powerful. Although this one doesn't restrict if you have an attack or defense position. It's basically an instant Titanic Galaxy, although it can't revive itself. All Darklords also, the new Darklords also have the restriction of Ritual Beasts. Like you can only special summon one of them per turn, which is painful, but isn't too bad because the rank up, the XYZ support you're going to be summoning out is generally level 8. So you go with Superbia into a Darklord to send back the altar back into the deck to revive Zerato, which can be very, very nice indeed. Speaking of Zerato, Zerato is about 2, it can be anything from 1 to 2 to 3. It's got a secret rare print from Phantom Darkness, so you can make it all look pretty. It's going to be super rare in this set, so you don't have to fork out so much for this. And it's got a great Regeki-like effect, which is really, well, I should say Regeki. It doesn't have to be like, it's actually Regeki. You discard a dark monster from your hand, blow everything up, destroys in the end phase, but you can overlay this for Titanic Galaxy or Lancelot, which can be very good indeed. So it depends on play preference how many you run of this card, but it's a very, very good card indeed. Then there's Darklord Array, useless for the archetype for the deck. The Darklord, the Marie the Fallen one, has now been changed into a Darklord monster known as Darklord Marie, and again, not used, although we don't see any St. Joan reprint to change the fusion requirements. So maybe in the future, St. Joan will get a reprint. I'm going to call it now and say OTS4 gets St. Joan as a reprint. Then we have Nurse Reficule. Nurse Reficule has become Darklord. Darklord Nurse Reficule. It's really annoying. This is the first print this card's had since its release as a promo in, I believe, in the GX video game. And yeah, now a lot of people will be easily accessing Nurseburn, and it's a lot more consistent since you can search her out now. And add that with Demise, consistent Nurseburn, how nice! I love this very skilled meta. But yeah, this hasn't had any play in the OCG for meta-wise, and most likely won't have that much value from the set. So it wouldn't be recommended to actually play Darklord Nurseburn. It's not going to be something you're going to consistently top at regionals with. You can top locals with it, but that's about it, to be honest. So that's all the Darklord specific support from it. There is other generic support, which I'll go over later on, but that was basically it. So you need to pick up 9 secrets from this, and then 3, 4, 5 supers alongside, depending if you've already got these or not. Now let's go on to Destiny Hero, which is a pretty decent supported archetype, but nothing on the level of elemental heroes. Of the Destiny Hero support, you barely need much of it. It's going to be probably, out of all the supported archetypes from this set, this is going to be the least amount of secrets you will need to get from it, which is pretty nice depending on which variant you're going to play. The most consistent variant of Destiny Hero at this point is Destiny Zolkin, which is very powerful, bringing out Zolkin, Omega, and maybe Crystal Wings, some other things alongside Beatrice. All that kind of stuff comes down in that deck. And it's a pretty powerful deck. I'm going to put a link to Tenma's video on Destiny Zolkin at the card on that's one of the cards on this video. So please check that out. It's a very good video, and it shows the deck quite well. Unfortunately, we didn't get the other fusion monster that really utilizes this card, this archetype. So this is going to be quite low value support at the beginning of it. When we get the fusion monster, it will probably get a lot more hype up than now when it was released. So the main card you need to pick up if you're going to play Destiny Hero is Destiny Hero Celestia. Destiny Hero Celestia is basically used for its graveyard effect. You can banish it and one Destiny Hero from your graveyard, draw 2 cards as long as you have no cards in your hand, which is a very nice effect. But particularly if you're going to realize Zolkin, and you need to empty your hand anyway for Zolkin, so you can do a lot more things after that. It's a definite nice card, probably a 2-of secret when you actually build this deck. Then the Decision Guide. This guy adds back a hero from your graveyard to your hand during the end phase when it's normal or special summoned, which is also pretty alright, but unless you're playing really pure Destiny Hero, I wouldn't advise using this card. Then there is Destiny Hero Dark Angel. This card is the technical reason Kaiser Coliseum is banned now, but it's absolutely terrible. You wouldn't ever really achieve the lockdown in a consistent way, so it was just an excuse. They brought this out to ban Kaiser because they couldn't be asked to reprint it. Really annoying, and really annoying that it's a secret rare. There's only 5 secret rares for Destiny Hero, and then the other 2 new supports are super, which is pretty nice actually. I'm liking how they did that, at least, because it's going to be the second best archetype you get from this. Then we have D-Cubit, or D-Cubed I think it's now called. Pretty bad as well. You just spam out a few more of them, and it's a Destiny Hero. Pretty bad. I think Rottweiler at this point maybe slightly better, unless its destruction effect is actually better. I cannot remember its destruction effect. It's send a Destiny Hero from your deck to the graveyard. Okay, this is slightly better than Rottweiler, but still not going to be played in even the pure variant. You won't play this card. And then there's D-Fusion, more playable than D-Cubed, because it's fusion summoning during your opponent's turn, and you've got a fusion monster that definitely works with this deck. I didn't cast the fusion monster in this and the amount of Destiny Hero cards you would need to pick up from this, because most players go for the Synchro version and don't go for the fusion version. Destiny Hero Dystopia guy is probably a pretty decent fusion monster, to be honest, but the archetype itself doesn't have real good usage of polymerization. It goes more for controlling fusion-based shenanigans. So when it's special summoned, you can tag a level 4 Destiny Hero in your graveyard and burn your opponent for its equal to its attack, which is alright. And then during your player's turn, when this card's original attack changes, which is a bit of a weird way of triggering this card. You can target one card on the field and destroy it. And if you do, this card's attack becomes equal to the original attack. So it's really weird. It's a nice control card, but it's nothing that's going to be meta. You won't see this in a meta landscape, and it won't be having high value. The only card that will have high value out of Destiny Heroes for is Celestia. Then we have the other two super cards that are new to the archetype. Dynamite Guy, which inflicts damage instead of taking damage from a battle. It's a bit meh, and then you can target Destiny Hero from while it's in the graveyard by banishing itself to gain 1,000 attacks. So it can trigger off your Dystopia Guy, but that's about it. It's alright for pure, but nothing for anything else. Then there's Drill Guy. This guy got a lot of hype when it was first announced, but its hype has basically died because you don't play it. When it is normal special summon, you can special summon Destiny Hero from your hand's attack unless or equal to this card. Very mediocre. Best you can do is summon out Malicious, which isn't too good, or summon out Celestia for a rank 4 summon. Really, really not good for the archetype, and will not see play unless you're playing pure Destiny Hero, and even then it's a bit meh. Then we get the reprints for Destiny Heroes. So a terrible reprint of Dogma, didn't need this again. Plasma in Super is quite nice because then it's a lot easier accessible to people who like this card because it looks nice in Super. And sometimes you can't access anything other than common. Sometimes you don't have access to it in secret rare. So Plasma Super reprint is actually quite nice. Probably one of the better reprints you can get from the set. Malicious reprint in Super is very good because the other two rarities of it, I believe it's Ultra and Secret, are quite expensive because they're very easily usable. So Malicious in Super is a nice thing if you can't access anything other than common again. So it hasn't had a print for quite a while. Then Diamond Dude as Super, it's already got a Super print, so it's a bit mediocre, but you couldn't put this at any other lower rarity to be quite frank. So yeah, it's whatever. You can use it as a one-off, or maybe even a 2-off to be honest, because you can use it with ties, so it can be alright, but even then ties is not very good in Destiny Hero. Then D-Draw as a super is really nice actually, and the obviously degenerate card, discard one Destiny Hero, draw 2 cards, sets up Malicious, all that kind of stuff. It's very, very nice reprint. If they hadn't reprinted with this is probably one of the cards that would hype up. Then we have Over Destiny. This revises Destiny Hero level is less than equal to half the target's level. It's very, very bad. You wouldn't use this in Destiny Hero. Then there's Destiny Signal, which is Hero Signal for Destiny Heroes. Again, not very good. We can see it for the hand, so kind of more superior than the Hero Signal. And now we shall go on, and this is also Fusion Monster as well, which is not needed to be revived, and if you're sacrificing Plasma to summon this, there's something wrong with you. This card is really bad. Really, really bad. Now let's go on to the Abyss Actors. Abyss Actor is the worst archetype from the set. It doesn't have any way of affecting the meta whatsoever. Destiny Heroes can put the Celestias in to make Destiny Zolkin, which is a pseudo-meta deck. Darklord is a meta deck. Abyss Actor will not even be close to meta. Guardian is more meta than Abyss Actor. But we shall be going over them anyway because it's a new set. Evil Heal is their first boss monster. It can reduce attack and change attacks, and I believe it can increase the amount of attacks it can get. Oh no, it sets an Abyss script card from your graveyard to your hand, which is very indeed. I think it's a 1 or 2 off. I don't know the ratios for Abyss Actor. I'll probably link up a Abyss Actor video in the card as well, along with Darklords and stuff. So if you want to see decent builds of Abyss Actor, there'll be one or two up there, depending on how many I've got for the other ones. Then we've got Superstar, which sets a Abyss script from your deck, I believe it is. Yes, it's quite nice. This is the true boss monster. Probably the only one that's probably going to be a 2 or 3 of. Other than that's a high level, and it's alright. It's nice. It's also got a nice scale effect. It's not going to be something that's going to be expensive. No Abyss Actor stuff is going to be expensive unless it's a very short printed card like my Essential Dieback, and then it will die in value. Then we got Wild Hope. It can change its scale to 9, but you can't spend some other than Destiny in Abyss Actor, so it's alright, and then gains 100 attack for Abyss Actor cards. I believe on the board, it has another monster effect. With Stronger Battle card effect, this is probably the more key effect. You can search any Abyss Actor from your deck to your hand, so you can put in Pendulum Storm into this deck. Pop this along with an MST, along with something else to make an MST, and then get a search, which is alright. Wavering Eyes would have really benefited this deck, but Wavering Eyes is now banned. And then there's Pre-Heroine. She can add back an Abyss Actor from your, well, add one from your deck equal to the damage you took, so that's alright. I believe it has a destruction effect as well. Let's see, yeah, when this destroy battle, or when it's in the monster zone destroyed by a opponent's card effect, send Abyss script from your deck, which is really mediocre. If it didn't have to be opponent's card effect, this could mix with Metal Foes quite well, but unfortunately it did, so yeah, rip. But it is a secret rare, probably a free of as well, because as I say, not good with Abyss Actor ratios, but it's alright. I believe they're also missing one of the more key Abyss Actors, which is like Dandy Hope or something. Yeah, I think it's like Dandy something, but he's got Megaphone. I think he summons Abyss Actor from hand, something along those lines. It's probably one of the better Abyss Actor cards, and we still haven't got it. And hopefully it doesn't turn out to be like the Shadow Support, which is still waiting 3 years on. Yes, I'm still salty. And then there's the final secret rare from the set, Abyss Script Rise of Dark Ruler, which can be non-target destruction, which is alright, but that's about it. Doesn't do anything else. The destruction effects really shouldn't ever come into light. If your opponent knows that Abyss Actor, they'll be very selective in ways they are Twin Twisting, or maybe not even Twin Twister at all. Maybe they'll go for Banishment with Cosmic Cyclone, something of that caliber. They're really not going to be setting off your effects unless they don't know what you're playing, or they're really very new to Abyss Actors in general. Then we got the supers that come from the set. Sassy Rook. This card, I believe, is also a searcher. Let's see. Abyss Actor special summons from the deck, which is alright, but it restricts you how to actually destroy this card, which is really annoying. Really annoying indeed, and this is why the Archetype is so underwhelming. The only benefit this card has is it's 1700 beat stick. That's it. Then there's a Funky Comedian. I believe it gives power-ups to Abyss Actors, which is very meh as well. Probably, again, another free off. Extra, which is probably the only good Abyss Actor we get. It can, if your opponent controls a monster from the, if your opponent controls a monster, you can switch summon this card from your Venom Zone. So it's an instant level 1. It's alright. I wouldn't say it's the worst thing in the world. You can definitely utilize this outside of Abyss Actor, so possibly something to pick up in the future, maybe to keep hold of a playset. You never know when something like this will become usable in the future. You never know, rank 1 spam becomes meta. It could happen. Then we've got the Abyss Scripts. There's Opening Ceremony, power up by 500, and then draw if it's destroyed by a opponent's card effect. You can draw until you have 5 cards in your hand. You're never going to get this destroyed. This one is probably the best Abyss Script though. You can banish 3 monsters from your opponent's extra deck, but they get to choose. But that's the only downside. But it's good against Zodiac. That's about it. Probably the best Abyss Script though. Then we've got Fantasy Magic, which protects them from being destroyed, and then returns to hand instead. Useless. And then there's Extra Coach, I believe, that protects them again from being destroyed. We don't need that support. And then finally, the entering of the Abyss Actor dressing room. These names are really, really weird. If you have 2 Abyss Actor cards in your Pendulum Zone, add 2 Abyss Actors Pendulum monsters with different names from your deck to your extra deck face up, which is probably which is a nice prototype for the upcoming future. So we may get a Pendulum Archetype that has a similar support card that is like this. If this doesn't take off, they're going to do a stronger version. Most likely, they have done it before, and they're going to do it again. So we may see this effect happen in the future. But overall, Abyss Actor is not something you should ever pick up unless you really like the archetype. If you do, then yeah, good on you. Try and play this, but I know I will never pick up any of the support. The only things I would actually pick up would like Destiny Era Celestia, just because I don't have any real want to play Darklord IRL, to be honest. And now onto the reprints. So there's a lot of nice reprints, and then there's a lot of met reprints, and then there's one what the fuck Konami reprint. So the first is Archetype Christian. This supports Darklord. It's a nice Vanities theme that they could have reprinted, and they finally have as a nice super. That's not a 10 promo, so it's nice. It's a very decent reprint. Something maybe to hold on to when we get out entities and we start seeing more consistent versions of Necros with Christian lockdowns or some other ritual archetype with Christian lockdowns. You never know. There's a lot of ways to use Christian, so keep a hold a couple of these. Doomsday Horror powers itself up, very meh, don't need it. Prometheus, it can banish dark monsters from your graveyard, which is very nice actually, but again, it's not very playable in this upcoming meta. The best card to actually come out of this that is a reprint is Allure of Darkness. Now, this wasn't going to be confirmed as a reprint. It was a reprint in the OCG, but we know that we're most likely getting Allure of Darkness in January in the D&D structure deck, so it was very surprising that Allure of Darkness gets another reprint here as super. So a lot of people probably have the common Allure of Darknesses right now from the Dark World structure deck and OPO1. So a nice rarity bump can be quite good. This is probably going to be the main things you should pick up from the set. They're gonna be cheap, like Max C was on release of Premium Gold. It was like £3. So Allure of Darkness is definitely something you need to consistently keep picking up, because its price will most likely pick up eventually as long as there are good dark archetypes in the meta. This is going to keep being good trade bait. And then there's trading. Again, another good trade bait. A lot of people will have common ones, and now they can rarity bump into this. So that's pretty nice. Very good reprint for Darklords. And it also a free of in Darklords, same as Allure of Darkness. And Allure of Darkness probably be using Abyss Axe here and Destiny here as well. Then we've Dark Hole. This is the what the fuck reprint. You want to reprint a lot of cards that are dark related. Yeah, and then they reprint this. It doesn't have support dark at all. It's just a dark hole. You saw the dark in the name and say, oh, that'll be perfect to reprint here. Like, what the fuck, Konami? This was just stupid. This is just full memes. What the fuck? Yeah, dark hole gets reprint this. It's an alright reprint, but seriously. And then we get Valhalla, support for fairies. They generally don't use this card. Dark Mamble, which if you control 3 dark monsters, tag one face card on the field, vanish it. It's a decent card, but you just generally don't see it play with it. Advanced Draw, send 1 level 8 or higher monster you control to the graveyard to draw 2 cards, which is also alright, but you generally will be playing it either. Beginning of the End, this hasn't had a reprint for quite some time. I don't think ever actually, so this was a good reprint. If you have 7 or more dark monsters in your graveyard, remove from play 5 of them to draw 3 cards. Its cost isn't outweigh how much you draw, but it could work in the future with lawn mowing with a good dark archetype to abuse it. Then there's Creeping Darkness, a generic search for any level 4 dark monster in the game, which is also quite alright. A nice reprint there. It hasn't had a reprint since its first print with Super. Actually, it may have done, but I think it was also a lower rarity. Then there's a Dark Eruption. It's alright reprint. Again, a lot of people would have common versions of this, so they can mildly rarity pump this. Veil of Darkness, it got released in Premium Gold 2 years ago, reprinted in Premium Gold 2 years ago, and it came reprint again. It's again not a very good card. As a Doomsday, very mediocre. Escape from the Dark Dimension, not the highest rarity you can get from this, because technically it's a super rare that is higher rarity because it's the original set, but it's a nice rarity bump for this card. It can definitely play in a lot of decks, so something else to actually pick up from this. And then Dark Illusion, if you really want to take this in, you can, but terrible card. So the best cards to actually get from this and actually pick up from this would be any of the Dark Support, because that's definitely, well, any Dark Lord Secrets. they are definitely decent trade bait for anyone who's going to be wanting to make that. And then Destiny Hero Celestius, this is something to invest into. This could have a lot more hype up in the future when we get the new fusion monster, because I'm sure someone will top with Destiny Heroes. They've done it before in the past. Just need another Jake Malander to actually do it again in the future. Then we have the other ones to actually pick up for Actual Christian reprints, Allure Darkness, Trading, and Darkhold reprints, because they're staples, definitely gonna have some decent trade bait there. And then Beginning of the End and Escape, I think those two more cards to actually pick up for, because they have a lot more potential. And if we get the right support in the future, this is what will probably hype. And then you've got a few copies of these lying around and a few you can sell on. So the cards to pick up alongside this to make these decks are thus Yanseal and Kaijus in general. Kaijus help every deck, to be honest, but they're very good for Darklord, for their side deck, because they're level 8, so you can do trading, or you can do Radiant and do Allure Darkness, level 7. So that's already supporting the oh, that's annoying. My thing's about to close, so 1 second. Apologies about that. My laptop just wanted to die. So as I was saying, Kaijus, definitely something to pick up for your side deck and out annoying things like Kirin, Alcahest, and all that lots. Vanity's Fiend. This is an instant free of for Darklords. Their main way of playing is Vanity's Fiend Turbo, and this card is gonna definitely hype up. I know the OPO 1 sets OTS 1 Verity Vanity's Fiend Ultimate Rare is worth around 20 quid now. It used to be 8 quid because they already had an Ultimate Rare print, and now it's gone to 20. Everyone's starting to hype this card, and it's going to keep getting its price rising unless it gets hit on the ban list. So this card is definitely something you have to pick up as soon as possible before it just gets fully into that bridge of really having a lot high value. Then there's a Superior Dora, because you do run maximum amount of Ixotabs. You can definitely make this quite effectively in your deck, so that's definitely something to have to pick up in the future. Titanic Galaxy, again, this is easily makeable in Darklord, and probably a stable play for turn 1. Vanity's Fiend plus Titanic Galaxy, really annoying and hard to get around, so definitely again another card to pick up. Only one else, because you're not going to bring out you're not going to bring out multiple of them consistently. Then there's Upstart Goblin. You may think, why Upstart Goblin for Darklords? Well, they want to be consistent. They want to have this consistency to make that Vanity's Fiend Turbo. So Upstart Goblin is definitely a staple in that deck, and definitely something, if you haven't picked up one, you don't have one lying around or don't want to move it out another deck, you have to pick up another one now. And then there's Pod Desires. This is player preference. You can play Pod Desires, you cannot play Pod Desires, it's up to you. But personally, I think a lot of decks benefit from Pod Desires, and Darklord is definitely one of them. You can win if you use your Pod Desires and get the right supports. You can also definitely use this in more fun versions of Darklord, for example, Predator Plant Darklord. So that's still, it's a little bit of a reason to pick it up. You can definitely utilize it and keep your speed. You need the speed for this meta. And then there's Book of Eclipse. You're probably thinking, why? Because it dies to Vanity's Fiend. If you're in a mirror match, Book of Eclipse is your best friend, because you're setting that Vanity's Fiend. It's no longer in effect. How fun! You can start playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Again. Book of Eclipse is gonna be one of the most strongest cards in this current format, because of the fact that it's non-targeting, so it gets around Kirin as well, and it outs Vanity's Fiends, Fossil Diners, barrier statues, all that BS, it outs it. So this card, if you haven't got any of these, you need to pick them up. Source Concealing Light does it, it's the same. Technically, people like that more because of the fact that the opponent doesn't draw anything if you're unable to break their board. But it can easily be emptied. This is where Book of Eclipse is a lot more. And Book of Moon targets, so it's not as good against Kirin. You can set that in against Kirin as well. So very, very key card in the upcoming format. And the Twin Twisters, discard, get around that Solemn Strikes, because they're going to really hurt you. Dimensional Barrier, you don't go into the extra deck heavily, so Dimensional Barrier is easily usable in this deck, and probably a 2 or 3 of. Same with Strike, but yeah, people should have Strikes by now. And then finally, Eradicate the Epidemic Virus. You can tribute off your Darklord, pop all the spells and traps, how nice. and it's a one-off, so yeah, it's probably will see a lot more play than it has done in the OCG, because it usually sees it in the extra deck, in the side deck, whereas one-off is now one in the TCG, so it's more easier to tech into the main deck. Then for Destiny Heroes, there's Shadow Mist and Darklord and Mass Change. Definitely staples in Destiny Hero. It's Darklord. Darklord's so powerful. Then there's Red Resonator. This works again very well in Destiny Hero and does a lot of things. You add this with Celestial or Drill Guy and then special summon out Malicious from your hand. You've got an instant Zulk in there. That's very, very good indeed. Red Resonator, something you always have to pick up on. Make sure you have a placer this time around. Hopefully it gets a very bump in the future. It's a very cheap common, but always keep a placer around. You don't want to be scouting for commons everywhere. Then there's Vision Hero Adoration. If you're going for a fusion build, you can use this card. It's alright, but it's generally not that playable, but it's a fusion build. You're going to have a lot more unplayable cards in there anyway. Zulkin, Coral Dragon, and Stardust Charge Warrior, all very key for Destiny Zulkin. So those cards you definitely have to pick up. Indeed, Zulkin I think is starting to go down slightly as in Super Reprint. Coral Dragon is around 8-10 in the UK, and I believe Charge Warrior is like 2. So these are not that hard to pick up. The Crystal Wing is the hardest though, it's about 30-40 quid, which is really painful for the one at least. And then for Abyss Actor, there's really not much support you need to put with Abyss Actor. Pendulum Storm probably is the best one, alongside the Magic Spectre, Unicorn, Kirin, Engine. That's about it. You really can't say much about this actor because they really don't do much and you don't see that many deck lists for them. So yeah, I would say this set is not really worth buying a box of unless you're playing Darklord, because then you need so many secrets that the potential can really outweigh the cost. But other than that, if you're gonna play Destiny Hero or Abyss Actor, don't buy a box. Just get your buy them online. You're gonna save money that way. This is not a set to really heavily invest in. The only investable cards, as I say, were Celestial, Allure, Trading, Dark Hall, and Christia. That's the only things you're really gonna get plus from. Other than that, the highest value cards in the set will definitely be Ixatab, the spell cards who search, the spell cards to revive, and most likely Destiny Hero Celestial. That's probably not going to have its high value until later on when we get the other fusion monster. There was a few cards that you really neglected to not put in this and really painfully did and could have made this set a lot better, which is Stratos and the new fusion monster. The new fusion monster is probably going to be a VGen promo, also of that caliber, so it's going to be taking a while for us to get that. But Stratos could have easily been put in this and could easily come off the list to support Destiny Hero. But since it's not getting a reprint, it's extremely unlikely to now come off the list in the next ban list, which is a very big shame, but it happens. Konami. We can never really know what they're wanting to do. So yeah, thank you for watching. Tomorrow or sometime during the week, my next video will be out, which will be Zodiac Fluffles, a turn 1 based Fluffle deck that can bring out a nice lockdown and also OTK. It's a very fun deck and even meta possibility to be meta if Eidolon or Zodiac gets very hit because it doesn't use the Molmarat engine. So it's also going to be a more cheaper Zodiac engine that you will see in the future. I'll also be doing a stream on this deck on Thursday at most likely 5 PM British Summer Time. So that's that, yeah. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, enjoy this, and want to see further content. If you want to chat with me online, I usually talk to people on my Facebook page or on Discord, which is going to be the Lithium server that I'm frequently on. So yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching. Matarant signing out.